death, and aliens, an in-depth look at horror and sci-fi TV from two friends who vaguely know what they're doing. I'm Courtney,
And I'm MK.
and how are you?
That's why I gave you a panic look before I hit the record
You
button because I
forgot.
was like,
Yeah.
what am I going to talk about? Um, I worked a lot last week.
Yeah.
Um, and it was all very annoying. I worked a 15-hour shift at the theater on Saturday from 7:45 a.m. until 10:45 p.m. And I have been like borderline nauseous since then.
Lack of sleep.
Lack of sleep, lack of like food at a regular schedule, like lack of healthy food. Like I'm just like
Sure.
not living my best life.
Right. I'm
But
intimately familiar with that.
the only super positive thing that happened with my 15-hour shift is that because I was sick at work, to be fair, I should have been like editing the podcast and watching Stargate, but instead I was reading. Um, and I got to 92% of the way through my Crescent City book.
Oh my
But
gosh, I saw you finished a couple of your books.
I did. I finished The Beast Within. Did you read my review? I know you had like
You
commented on
left
it.
three stars. I
Yeah,
didn't see. Did you leave words? I didn't see
I did.
words. I didn't look at. Okay.
I left a long review with
Okay, I
it.
haven't read it yet. I just was
Yeah.
scrolling.
I like saw that your comment about how you wanted to know how I felt about the book, and then I was like, oh, but I didn't
I
love the
know.
book.
But you moved on to the second one.
No, well, the Beast was the second one, so this is the third one. So
Oh.
I'm reading the third one because they're like in my review, I talked about the fact that like my problem with the book was that the Beast is not a villain, and they tried really hard to make the Beast a villain. But the problem is that because the Beast is a character we know, and we know they have to have a happy ending, you have to get to the happy ending. And at 82% of the way through the book, I still didn't like the Beast, which means that they weren't going to get through the happy ending. Like they were relying on you knowing the story of Beauty and the Beast to like the Beast by the end, which wasn't good writing. However,
Right.
the main characters in that series are actually not the Disney characters. They're these witches that are like the characters that are like the through line for the whole book series. And they're interesting. I want to see what happens with them and like
Okay.
if the series gets, because I liked the first one.
Right.
I didn't like the second one, but the second one wasn't
Mhm.
about a villain. The third one is about Ursula. So I'm hoping that it's just that I have issues with the way that they wrote the Beast, and then
Yeah.
I like the third one again. And if I still don't like it after the third one, then I probably won't finish the series.
Mhm. And you said
Um,
that there's witches that are a through line? Okay.
yeah. And so but like I liked the first one, and the second one was about a non-villain character. So I'm hoping that going back to the villains will go back to the vibe that I got from the first one.
Yeah.
So I'm still giving the third one a chance, but it is a tentative chance.
Love that
And I
for
still
you.
gave it 3 stars. Like I didn't give it
I
like
saw
two
that.
or one. So like
Yeah.
there was there were some redeeming qualities, but I didn't. It was sad.
Yeah. That's fair.
But Crescent City, I got 92% of the way through the book. I did almost have a heart attack though, because so I was reading at work and I don't have my Kindle turned like the only place my Kindle is connected to the internet is at my house. Nowhere else.
Okay.
So everywhere else it's basically on airplane mode because I refuse to connect to any of the Wi-Fi networks. So I
I'm
was
connected
reading
everywhere.
but so I was reading the whole time at work, and I got to 92% of the way through the book, and like, but I didn't like log that I had gotten that far. And then I get home, but I'm driving home, and on my way home, I get the notification from Libby that my book has been returned to the library. And at this point, I can't do anything because I can't turn it on to airplane mode because I'm home now. As soon as I turn it on, it's on.
You were like 8% away and it was like
I
return.
had 92%. I sent Amy a video on Snapchat literally sobbing because Amy's the only person who's read all of the books. So I like sent her a video and I'm sobbing and I'm telling her everything that just happened up to where I got and then that I don't have a book anymore. And like she was like, I'm gonna cry for you. Like, and I was like, I don't know how to function. But I woke up Sunday morning and I had a notification from Libby that my hold, because I had obviously gone back on the hold
Sure,
list,
yeah.
I got the notification from Libby that I could borrow it again. And I was like, oh my God.
I love that for you.
So we're good. I did not finish it today because well, yesterday was Father's Day and then today I was at the carnival. So I still haven't finished it. But I'm
But it's okay. You have what, like 14 days left? Or
right.
even 21, something like that.
Yeah, I have like 14 days to finish 8% of the book. So
Sure,
we're
yeah.
so we're good. We're good. It was very stressful.
Sweating it.
10 hours without my book in while I was asleep the whole time. So it's
Sure. Right.
but yeah, so but I'm officially no, I'm not officially. I'm officially done with having to go to work on time. Today was the last school day. Everything else was exams. I have 17 final essays to grade and 3 exams to proctor. And that's it.
Ooh, that's
So
exciting.
Um, there's a little confusion on if I'm changing classrooms or not because I was told one thing and then someone else told me that they were told that they were getting the same room that I was told I was getting. So now we're trying to figure out what
Ooh.
is happening classroom wise. So I also will still have to, once we figure out where my classroom is, move my stuff to my classroom.
Sure.
Um, but other than that, I am free to read forever.
Ugh, I'm so jealous.
So, so I'm good,
Amazing.
fairly for because of books.
Right. That is the only good in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm so tired. I am real into attorney world, which sucks. Friday was my attorney anniversary, which doesn't suck. That's fine. So I've been licensed for 4 years now, which is exciting. It's probably much more exciting when you're not also studying for another bar.
Yeah.
Because that really is the worst. But my mom's in town, to help Rachel with the baby and help me with my life. And so she came in on Friday and we went to like dinner and had like pasta and wine and stuff, and it was really fun.
Nice.
We spent like the weekend with the baby and studying, and she's learning all about the law because we're all watching my lectures together. So
Great.
had a great time. I was because I was sick for so long.
Yeah.
Um, I ended up 30 hours behind on my studying. And they add 5 hours every day. So like it's not like I could do 35 hours in a day and just get called back up. That's not
Yeah.
how time works. So I've been trying to get as much as close as I can. And I think I'm finally like I think when I finish today, I'll be 18 hours behind. Or 16 hours behind. I don't really know how to count, so I'm not 100% sure on that. Um, but I've just been like trying to do like double days every day, which really sucks, but
Yeah.
just
That sounds awful.
is like today I watched 2 lectures today. I've forgotten already. I watched 3 lectures yesterday. I've done like 3 essays. I have another essay to do. I really need to try and do 3 more essays, but I don't know if I'm gonna make it. But I have at least one more I have to do today. And it's just like every day is a nightmare, but it's fine. It's fine. Um, yeah. So I'm just trying to get ready for the bar, and I turned in my last essay last week and got a like passing grade on it. It's not like graded, like they tell you if they think you'd pass basically with what you've
Yeah.
submitted. And they said they thought I would, which is dope. Um,
Yeah.
at least my next essay I'm submitting is tort, so it's one that I like know backwards and forwards because it's
Right.
very similar to like federal law torts, which I've already done and has been drilled into me since I walked in the door of law school, I think. Um, but it's just know that like we were watching my lecture and the guy
Yeah.
like all of the time when they finish, they're like, well, this is constitutional law, and if you need anything, call us. Here's our information. Like, we're so thrilled you're doing this. We're so happy for you. Can't wait to see you in court. And my mom's like, oh, they can't wait to see you in court. And I was like, never. That is not the goal. The goal is not for me to ever see them in court. Honestly, some of these people, I hope I never pass in the street. Like, I don't even need to see them in real life, much less in a courthouse.
Yeah.
So, I'm just a little angsty. And I'm just tired because my sleep
Wait,
schedule is 12 to 6 right now, and that is
not enough sleep.
sometimes working until 12 and then getting up and grading essays at 6. Like, it's not like, oh, I wind down at 10:30 and then I wake up and I like have some coffee. It's like, here's my lecture, it's ended, I supposed. Like, and then wake up and go get in the shower and do whatever. So
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like making it. And people keep asking, like, I had 10 text messages today from the past 4 days that I was just like, I do need to respond to these people. Like, there's one of my artists is trying to, not my personal artist, but when I signed for TRO, is trying to book like a tour down here. I've forgotten the word for tour. Book a tour down here, and like my old mentor wants to like grab lunch before she moves. I'm like, I gotta talk to these people, but I don't have the energy to do that today. So I've responded to them all now at this point, but it's just every day. So
Every
she could bring me some joy, and honestly, probably better than what I've got going. So no matter what it is.
As doctors, patients are always telling us how they would do our jobs. Just stitch me up, slap a band-aid on it, and send me home. It's easy to suggest a quick solution when you don't know much about the problem, when you don't understand the underlying cause or just how deep the wound really is. The first step toward a real cure is to know exactly what the disease is to begin with. But that's not what people want to hear. We're supposed to forget the past that landed us here, ignore the future complications that might arise, and go for the quick fix. And wow,
Yeah,
that is way too much like what's going on in the world right now that I don't like it.
look, I'm here for a quick fix today. Slap a band-aid on it and check back in August, and then we'll fix it for real. That's where we are
Great.
today.
Great.
Oh, this is mine. This is my episode. I've got a
It
notebook
is.
somewhere. Here it is. I did take notes. I did do my part. I just forgot about it.
That's great.
Um,
I barely watched this episode, let alone took notes.
I told Mary Kate before we got on, she was still watching when I was almost home, and I was like, I should have told you just like skim the episode. We would have moved on. Because today we're talking about Clarice, season 1, episode 12, Father Time, and it is the penultimate episode, which means we only have one left.
Which means I gotta go to the library this week and get a new DVD.
Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting about that. Um, I just have to switch discs. And then moved I finally got a TV for my library, so I'm gonna move my Xbox in here because y'all, I can't see. I understand I have glasses that have a prescription and I can now theoretically see, but I cannot read anything on the screen on my TV from my couch. It is too far away. So so I'm gonna put my Xbox in here and it's much closer
I was
so I
talking
can
to
see.
someone about glasses prescriptions,
Hmm.
and they were like, yeah, like my eyes aren't that bad. They're like a +2 or something. And I go, oh. They're like, what? I go, my prescription's +0.5. Like, that's why I don't wear my glasses, because I don't need my
Hmm.
glasses. It's a joke that I have glasses.
Mine is a negative 5.75 and 5.25. And I have
Or
astigmatism in both eyes.
no, I mean one of my eye or is wait, is minus you can't see far away or you can't see up
Hmm.
close. Okay, so then mine's
Hmm.
minus, not plus. So mine one eye is -0.5 and the other eye is no prescription, just astigmatism.
Yeah,
So
that's how my
like
mom is.
so I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can't see. Even with my prescription, I can't like read my TV because it's too little. The words. The TV's fine size. Like I can read like subtitles, but like my games, I can't read the words on them. Although I played one game, I think it was Botanical Gardens or something, and you could zoom in. It had like accessibility features where you could like make everything bigger and see it on the screen. I was like, praise Jesus.
wow.
Um,
I love
anyway,
to
so
see
one day I'll
that.
play. I know.
Oh
One
my
day I'll play a video game again.
sorry, I the other thing about eyesight, I do a lot of things where I will like put things in my bag behind my back or like zipper things up
Hmm.
when I can't see them. And I was trying to like put something in my bag today and I got like stuck on a flap and I was like moving it around. And I go, sorry, that was weird. Like, and I like apologize for how awkward I got. And Chrissy just goes, I don't understand what you're apologizing for. You do a lot of things like a blind person, and I don't know how you do it. And I was like, yeah, I also drive like a blind person, so that's probably not a good.
That's true, and you can see.
Yeah.
So we're just out here freewheeling it on the road with eyesight and everything. Um,
I almost hit someone the other day, but they were on a bike and I had a green light and they rode through my green light. And I said, I want to live in a world where if you do that and I hit you, there's no repercussions for the fact that I hit you because I just followed the law and you didn't.
yeah.
I don't actually want to kill someone. I just like
Sure.
don't understand.
We we have comparative fault here. And
Yeah.
so like you would be much less at fault if they were the ones who broke the law and you didn't. You'd still probably be a little at fault because they're pedestrian, but like not as much as you would be in most states.
Yeah.
I was sure about to say, oh, I thought for sure you were about to say I almost hit a person the other day, but then I saw that they were stopped and I made it. I thought you were gonna tell me.
No, I was doing everything correctly. I was turning at a green light and this bitch drove their bike through my green light and I almost hit them. And it wasn't my fault.
And it wasn't even Brooklyn.
Right.
Um, I'm holding my book upside down. So we're talking about Clarice today. It aired June 17th, 2021, which is 4 years ago from tomorrow. It was rated 7.3 out of 10. The number one song is still Butter. I forgot how long that song was popular. Like it was popular forever, but I just forgot.
I don't think I remember that song existing. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
the BTS song Butter.
No, yeah, no, I know, but
Hmm.
I actually don't know. Like, I remember Dynamite, I don't
Oh,
remember Butter. Like, I remember when Dynamite was the big song. I don't remember Butter being the big song. Like, I know the
Butter
song, but
was on the subways every day.
mm,
It was like in a commercial or something. I got so sick of it. Um, the Norman movie is The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, which I never watched. I forgot about. I was gonna watch that movie. That's the one with Ryan Reynolds, although he's a little controversial right now. So who's to say?
yeah,
And the number one book is Legacy by Nora Roberts. So good stuff.
good stuff.
Um, on this day was when the French scientists announced that the coelacanths, is that how you say it? Coelacanth?
I
That's
would
like a
need.
fossilized fish, kind of.
I would need to see it spelled to know how to
It's
pronounce.
Coelcanths.
C
It's
O E L. Wait, C O
Coecanths.
E.
Coel.
Okay, Canths.
Hmm.
I don't know because French words don't end in THS. Like,
This isn't a French word. They didn't decide this is the name of this creature. It was
oh,
just French scientists that discovered
I
that this time.
misunderstood what you were
Mhm.
saying, and I was looking for French
No,
pronunciation, and
no.
I was like, that's not a French word.
I didn't finish the story. That's what happened. I just stopped at the word. They discovered that these fossilized fish things can live up to 100 years, which is
Mm,
insane.
yeah,
And it was the year and day that Juneteenth was established. So that was the first Juneteenth.
Juneteenth is the 19th, not the 17th. So that's not true.
No, this is the day that it went on the books. Like this is the
Oh,
day
as a
Biden
national
signed it
public
as, and
holiday
yeah,
that
yeah,
we
yeah.
like got it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, that's not
Again, I
true.
didn't use all of my words. I am just I'm giving you pieces that I want you to figure it out. This is your locked door mystery.
Because
Um,
I was like, first of all, Juneteenth was on the 19th, and second of all, it was in
yeah, yeah.
1865. So
No. This is the first day it was a national public holiday. Signed
got
it.
it.
Sorry, there was more information.
We are doing so well right now.
It's gonna be such a fun
I
episode.
have a ice
Um,
pack strapped to my back to function right now. So like we're doing things.
I have a little fish and Fairlife chocolate milk. I'm thriving. Joe asked me how I was today. He came in and was like, "How are things going?" And I normally I'm like, they're fine, whatever, like same old same. And
Yeah.
today he walks in and he was like, "Oh, how are things going in here?" I said, "I'm thriving." He
And
just goes, what?
what? So you're not okay, is what you're
He was
telling
like
me.
thriving. I was like, I'm great. Then he was
And
like, okay. It
everything
was quite
is
funny.
awesome.
Exactly. It was a good time. It was a good day. It wasn't. It was terrible, but it's fine. Our director is Demaine Davis. I think that I meant to look up if that's how you pronounce it. It's Demane. So it could be like
Okay.
Demone. Demaine. I
Okay.
don't know. I don't even know what like nationality they are. They are known for Lift, Black and White and Red All Over, Queen Sugar, and Self Made, the Madam C.J. Walker story.
Okay.
Um, but most recently, she's known for she's worked on Brilliant Lines and Found, which are both NBC shows. Both great shows. I've only watched the first season of Found, but I do really like it.
Okay.
Um, she also worked on How to Get Away with Murder and You. So, like, she's just
Those are
like,
two pretty killer ones.
yeah, she's just like running the world. Um, Writers are the same: Gina Lumet, Alex Kurtzman, Kenneth Lynn, and Tess Leibowitz. Our editors Bartholomew Bertram. Our guest star today is Peter McRobbie, who plays Nils Conway. That's that's his last name, yes. I was
Hey,
like, wait a
no,
minute.
his last name is Hagen, but that's fine.
Hagen Tyson's last name is Conway.
Correct.
Thank you. He is known for
I was just gonna
the
let you
visit.
go with
Yeah,
it.
thanks. Just it's fine. We're gonna give them so much wrong information today. He's known for The Visit, Lincoln, Brokeback Mountain, and Find Me Guilty. There's not a lot of like fun facts about him other than like stuff he starred in. So he did play the father to both Jake and Maggie Gyllenhaal in different movies.
Love that.
Um, so I guess they all look alike. He's also appeared on the original Law and Order and all four spinoff series. So
Okay. I see you.
good good times for him. He's thriving. He is actually thriving.
Yeah,
Um,
unlike us.
right. I mean my Snuggie. I brought back my like TM Snuggie because my mom's using my podcast blanket. So the episode starts at therapy, and the therapist is late because Clarice had to change her days around, which is fine. And she starts like small talk and then just like goes into like remembering this like tragic flashback that we keep going back and forth on.
Yeah.
And she's and the therapist finally asks me, she's like, why can't you just say that you're angry? Like, you're going through all of these things.
Yeah.
You're having trauma. She tells her she's having trauma related anger. And my mom's like, me too. It's like, okay, Mom. She's like sitting on my couch drinking her coffee half asleep. She's like, me too. I was like, okay.
Sure.
Um,
Sure, Mom.
yeah. And she just angrily says she's not angry. And I was like, come on, Clarice. Like, come on. And then we
I
go to
think
Catherine's.
you're like a little bit angry.
Right. We go to Catherine, who also is kind of thriving. Like some of
Yeah.
these people are living their best life. Ruth has come to visit her, and she's telling her, she's like, they're gonna drag this out. They're gonna bring up Lily Gum. Like, there's some really powerful and dangerous people that are coming after you. And she's like, let them. She's like, I can take it. Whatever. I've done this to myself. I shouldn't have done. Like, let them do it. But then you burn them down. Like, she's like, I will take whatever punishment they bring to me, but you make sure that they are also brought down on the other side. And I was like, you tell. And I was like, I'm getting behind you. Like everyone
Yeah.
else has, like everyone's had a weird development that doesn't quite make sense to their character. And her character is so erratic, but has
Po
made sense the whole time.
Post therapy, Catherine,
Hmm.
chef's kiss.
Yeah, 100. Um, and she's just like not where it
That's what
is.
happens when you go to therapy and you let your therapist help you.
Oh,
Clarice.
what a dream. Come on, Clarice. So we go to our VICAP team, and they're waiting outside Alistair, and they're waiting to have their raid greenlit. Um, and then one of the agents just starts acting out. He starts like making crude remarks at Clarice, and then like peeing in a bottle, and like it's he's just so uncomfortable. Like I just don't like him. And Cal opens the door and calls him out. And I was like, good for you, Cal. You're my
Right.
favorite. Um,
Always.
always. And then they are sent in to find Alistair, and Paul runs into him and he gives him the warrant, and he's like, this is who we are. This is what we're doing.
Mhm.
So we go to the office, and Clarice is like, there's something with this painting. Like, he would not have harped so much. Like, obviously, we learned our Chrono story, but like, he would have just harped on it if there wasn't something else about it,
Yeah.
obviously. And we learn at this moment that Cal is an art like critic, basically. Like, he knows
Yeah.
everything there is to know about art. And he tells her, he's like, this is definitely like the artist, but it's not quite. Like, I can
Yeah.
tell that she did this,
But
but it's
it
not her
doesn't it does
style.
yeah. It would
No.
be like what looking at like a picture and like being like, I know that that's Van Gogh's brushstrokes, but that's something that that's a color palette or like subject that he
Yeah.
never would have used.
It's like if Monet stopped painting flowers, like, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and so we also learned Murray loves a ring. He is over the moon.
Murray
He has found,
is
like,
just he's just my favorite. He is unhinged in the best way all of the time.
it's amazing. And Paul's like, yeah, one time he found a Shetland pony that he got to like rescue. And he's like, I don't think you're gonna find that this time. And he's like, I'll be good with some like bounce checks and some like like fuzzy accounting records. And I was like, you were just like, this is the job you're supposed to be in. You're
Yeah.
way too excited about it. But not in a way that ruins it. Like, not in a
Right,
way
like
that like messes things up.
not in like a shady cop kind of way, just like in
Right.
a you do you, buddy. You were
Right.
built for this job.
And so also Neil is outside at this moment doing press and having like a heart attack. He's like trying to pretend like he's losing his breath and he's super weak. He's like the fragile old man like the Golden State Killer did. And he's like, I can't do anything. I'm just an old man. I didn't even know about these bad actors, but now that someone's told me, this company that I've built from the ground and hired everyone here, I now that someone's told me, do not fret, I will take care of all of this. My eyes are open now, and Chandler arrests him. And Joe's like, we don't have to do all this. He's like, no, we're going in because Ruth said you can do this, right? But you have to arrest him. Like, you have to bring him in,
Yeah.
obviously, so he doesn't try to kill Catherine or anything else. Um, so then we get the credits. And so we're back in our ViCat basement discussing the painting. And Cal is just going into his details and whatnot about the paintings and the Eva Duncan or whatever her name was. And we also learned that Nils was released an hour ago. So that did not last very long.
No,
Um
it is kind of hard to hold someone in prison when you don't actually have a sentence for them or like a even an accusation.
yeah, you have to well, I mean, they have some evidence. So they should have been able to hold him for at least 24 or 48 hours. You can pretty much do that without any reason, almost.
Depends on how
One
much
hour
money
short
they
short.
have.
Right. Usually you can still do it, but he's also got people on the inside we know, so
Yeah.
that probably had a lot to do with it. Um, so Cal and Clarice are going to meet the artist. And then we go to John Whitland's house. And he's in the car with Nils. And he's like, Nils is like, I know you're gonna take care of everything. I know your family left you, but don't worry, we're gonna finish this merger. You're gonna make sure it happens. You're gonna get super rich from it, and they're all gonna come back to you. And I was like, he sounds like he's just like blackmailing him to make sure nothing, like everything happens.
Yeah.
Um, but he's got this huge house that he's like built from the ground and like wanted to grow his family in, and then his family left him, and so now he's all alone, and it's kind of sad. Kind of puts him in a different light. Like, he sucks, but it puts him in a different light.
Yeah.
Um, Eva Gallows is her name, which makes way more sense because Gallows.
Yeah.
Um, and so we learn that she was paid an excessive amount to do this painting. Um, she like he insisted on doing it exactly how he wanted. She was like, I was basically paid to create a blank canvas. Like, this wasn't me creating art. This was me creating a blank canvas that he
Yeah.
insisted on. And Clarice starts like pushing and going and going, and Cal's like, we're done here. Like,
Yeah.
um, and she's like, I had so many questions. He's like, we need to work with the information we've already received. Like there's plenty to go off
And
of.
she was like, no, there's
And
not. He was like,
yeah, and he starts like repeating back. He's like, these are some of the things. This is whenever I figured out what the painting was already made of, but that's
oh,
okay.
no, it's literally as soon as she said he's had his own pigment mixed in the lab, I go, great,
Yeah, yeah. So
cool.
we go back to Joe, and he's built this like mini boat sculpture. And so he's like painting the side of it. And then he calls Paul.
Which, okay, when he was painting his miniature boat sculpture, I immediately go, oh, he's not
Hmm.
involved. Which is
Yeah.
a weird thing, but the minute I saw him making like a figurine, I just go, oh, so he's not involved at all. Like he doesn't even. Mm.
Like I think he has an inkling,
Well,
but I think
he knows
he's
what's going on because he's helping cover it up. But again, we saw that he was being
but that's it, I
blackmailed
think.
earlier. Like I
Yeah.
genuinely think he just was being blackmailed into
Right.
helping cover it up. Um,
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think it was his project or his choice, like by any means. Um,
it was
and
one
so
of
he
I
calls,
really think it
yeah.
was one of those I was already in too deep before it got this bad situations.
Yup.
But I don't know what it says about me that the second I saw the boat, I knew that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, good, only good people make figurine boats.
Right. Yeah, well, I mean, it takes a lot of patience. It takes very like you're either a straight up psychopath or you're a good person. And we
Yeah.
already know he's not a straight up psychopath because he does not
Right.
have that much emotional regulation.
Right.
Um, so like obviously it's the other end. So he's telling Paul he wants him to straighten things out with his daughters. He's like, tell him I wasn't involved in the sex stuff. Like I just need you to know this. And he's like, where are you? And he just keeps saying like the same things over and over. And Paul's like, I'll come talk to you about it. Like, where are you? Um, and then obviously, we learned he actually tried to help Carolina. So he
Yeah.
was kind of involved in trying to help these people that are coming through. And then the fixer people come in and kill him and clear everything out that's incriminating. Um, and Paul is, on the phone for it all. And obviously they set it up to make it look like a suicide. So we
Mhm.
go back to where we go to Hudlin's house, and Herman's team is there because there's been a mix-up. They've called violent crimes instead of VICAP. Um, and Herman has no chill. So
None
he's like,
whatsoever.
we're here, we're working on this. And Paul's like, we've literally been working on this for months. And he's my attorney. Like, obviously we're the ones supposed to be
He
handling
was
this,
like,
not
I was
you.
working him for a case. I was literally on the phone with him when he died.
Right.
Like,
He's like,
this
obviously this
is
is for
mine.
us. And
Yeah.
and we see that there's a suicide note that he confessed to everything, obviously. Um, and
Which
then
we did see the fixer team setting that note up. So,
right. Um, and the AG calls, so he calls Ruth, obviously, his bestie, and she kicks violent crimes out. And Herman's like, I'm filing complaints against everyone. And I'm like, file against yourself. You literally know this is not your case. Like, you know they've been
yeah.
working on this. Like, you crazy person. And then this guy, Eddie, is being a real jerk to everyone. And Esqual looks like he's gonna get into a fight, and instead Clarice punches him. Um, and she looks a little unhinged, but she is.
She is. Yeah.
Yeah, so then we go back to Ruth. And she's talking to Paul, and she's like, I don't believe that letter for a second. Like, we know that they've been doing this. Why would they stop now? Like, why would this be
Yeah.
the way it goes? Um,
Which good for her. Like I'm glad that I know
yeah.
she's like stressed about the repercussions and what how it's going to go down, but the fact that she's like
Hmm.
no, like immediately no questions asked, like this is not real.
Right. Well, I think at this point she's in too deep on this side now. That
Yeah.
if she got out, it wouldn't help her anyways.
Yeah.
Um, and so they of course find all of the evidence dependent on Joe because we see them parsing through all the evidence as they're cleaning up and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and Ruth is like, da, 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 right, going through everything. They're talking about the merger, and they're like, we have to do this now because if the merger goes through, it's gonna kill our chances, basically. Like
Yeah.
everything's gone after that. So go back to Matt and Clarice, and they're chatting it up. And Matt tells her, she's like, my lawyer wants me to use you punching an agent. And she's like, oh, to show that like I wasn't reprimanded and I keep getting promoted and you weren't. And she's like, well, yeah. And she's like, yeah, yeah, fine, whatever. And she's like, but no, it's not even about that. She's like, I'm actually worried about you as a person. And that's why I'm like, then this scene doesn't need to happen the way it happened.
No.
We didn't need to mention this lawsuit because if Ardelia doesn't care about it, why are you telling her in this moment? Because you know she doesn't care about it. She just punched somebody in the face. Like, she doesn't care what you say next. It was just a
Yeah.
poorly placed scene. I think that the conversation was good to see between Ardelia and Clarice. Just should have happened differently and in a different format. Like, it was good her telling Clarice basically get it together.
Yeah.
And then I'm worried about you. So we go back to the basement and they start talking about how there's like paintings over paintings, which
Mm-hmm.
if you've ever watched an art heist show, frequently done. And so that's what they say here. They're like, we had the blank canvas and there's painting over it. And he's like, oh, why are you using luminol over it? We have already seen this like lit up like a Christmas tree. Like, why are we asking questions at this point? But fine. He's like, why did you use luminol in that? He's like, obviously there's like biomatter here. Like,
Well, and
that's what
he's
happens.
no, but this one I was laughing a little bit at this scene because he said, "Why did you use luminol like this was the bed sheet at a
Yeah.
cheap motel?" And Cal says, "Your sex life aside, like
It was really funny.
it's like, whew.
Um, yeah. So we learn it's the biological matter, which obviously it's blood, it's red. Like, couldn't be more on the nose. However, they do make a comment to try and deter you and say it might not be human. There's no way to know. I'm
There's
like,
a lot of
sure.
ways to know. Have you met him?"
Right. And so then like Paul brings up the sex stuff and he's like, I really don't think it was Joe, but he keeps saying like, make sure my daughters know that I wasn't involved in the sex stuff. And he's like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And then we learned that Paul got a warrant for GHH, which is our nonprofit, and sends Clarice to basically clear Tyson. She's like, goes off with him, go tell him that we can protect him, but he's got to spill. He's got
Yeah.
to like let us know what's going on. And Paul calls her back to tell her about oh, so before when the team leaves, he calls her back in the office and he's like, look, here's the situation. Everyone's worried about you because you punched a guy. He's like, I was there. I know you were instigated.
He's
He's
like, "I
like,
know
we're
he
all
deserved
instigated.
it."
Yeah. He's like, but we all end up in these high, like, emotion situations and we have to restrain ourselves. Like, it's just part of the job. And
Correct.
she's like, I know, I know. And he's like, I did my best to talk you out of it, to like make sure that they like let you go with nothing, but they do want your therapist to sign off on you continuing forward. And
Which is
I don't know why she's still mad.
valid. Oh, right.
She's so mad. And I'm like, that is literally the easiest way you could have gotten off. Like, you could not have gotten a better
You
deal.
could have been suspended with no pay. Like you could have,
Yeah. You could have been fired. Like,
right.
you like could have been deemed unstable based on all of the things that you keep doing.
You could have been arrested for assaulting a federal law enforcement officer.
Right.
Like,
Right. There's a lot of things that could have happened that are not your therapist signing off that you're okay to keep going.
like get
So,
it to fucking gather, girl.
right. So we're at the nonprofit, and Tyson's being very fussy at her. And she's telling him, she's like, I understand you're upset, but we're not here to come after you. Like, we're here to help you. Like, this is your chance to tell us everything so we can protect you and you can move forward. Like, we don't want you to lose this and we don't want you to be lost or whatever.
And he's like,
And she's
"No,
telling
it
him,
was
she's like,
Joe. Joe's the bad guy. My dad did nothing
yeah.
wrong."
He's like, you would never do anything wrong. And she's telling him, she's like, no, no, no. Nils is definitely bad. Like, we definitely know that that's the case. And she tells him about what happened to Joe. And she's like, this is the situation. Like, obviously, this was staged. And Tyson really believes that Joe's doing all of this. Not really. But that's what he says.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, regardless of anything else, he's selling a drug that has known birth defects. Like, he
He's
knowing what
not
he
a
is
good
doing.
person.
So even
Um,
if all of this other stuff is Joe, he's selling a drug that's killing
right.
that's
And
causing
this
this.
scene tells me that either Tyson is in on it, or he has even worse daddy issues than she does and is not a reliable human being.
100%. 100%. Um,
Or
so we go
both.
back.
Because honestly, at this point, I think it's both.
I think it's both. Yeah. So we go back for Chai and Viva, and we learn the full backstory. She didn't want to do Neil's painting. She was basically an up and comer, and he became her like almost angel investor. Like he's
It
like,
it was
I'm gonna
it
help
was
fund
very
you.
it was very novel version Phantom of the Opera and Christine
Right.
creepy old man
Right.
situation.
However, it gets worse in the fantasy opera because then he basically like locks her in a tower almost in his house and is like, I'm gonna commission this. You're gonna make these paintings for
Well,
me.
that's why
And
I
we
said
learn,
that that's why I said novel version of the Phantom of the Opera
right?
because the actual Phantom of the Opera not a good guy,
Oh,
not hot,
I don't
not
even
hot.
novel like new,
Oh
not
no,
like book,
novel like the
like the book. Yeah,
book
yeah.
by Gaston Leroux. Because let me tell
Mhm.
you,
Oh, I've read it.
Phantom not attractive, not redeemable,
Mhm.
genuinely a
Yeah,
monster. But that's fine.
yeah, yeah. I read it before I read it when I was like 12. I read it
I
way
read
long
it. No,
ago.
I read it. Yeah, I read it my freshman year of high school, and I was like,
Mhm.
cute.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and we learned that he had was constantly raping her, trying to have kids with her, and doing all of these like icky things. And then she's like, I was never worried about getting pregnant because I found out at 15 I couldn't have kids anyways. Like I didn't like the situation, but I didn't
She
need
was
to do
like, it
that.
was not good, but I knew I wasn't gonna birth his child because I had already had like
Right.
reproductive defects, and like, thank fucking God for that.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. And she's like, when it got to be too much, I finally told him. And that's when he commissioned this painting and then let her go. And we learn that it's Neil's blood on it. And then they find a star or something. I couldn't really tell. And there was something more in it. I don't think they talked about that here. That's later, huh?
no, they
Mm.
find no, they do while they're talking to her, they
Okay.
see the
So
thing, and
the
they
star.
talk more about what it is later when they
That's
pull
what I was going to
Ardelia
get.
into it, but they find some kind of like
Yeah.
they think it's some kind of tissue because it is part of the blood
Mhm.
matter, but it's not liquid blood. There's something
Right.
like lumpier or harder, like some kind
Yeah.
of actual like tissue.
Mhm. And then we go back to Escobar and Clarice, and they're talking about lashing out at the scene. And he's like, I get it. Like, I obviously
Okay,
almost got to fight. Um,
listen,
yes.
I understand what's happening. I get it. We are trying to build relationships between these characters. I could not fucking care less about their bonding moment in this goddamn elevator because last time we left the two of them alone to bond, she dug unnecessarily into his relationship that, oh, by the way, doesn't exist anymore. Like, which
No, it does.
does it?
Yeah,
Okay,
because
well,
he said Jesse told me that if I keep
oh,
doing this,
oh,
I
that's
will keep
right.
hurting
Oh, that's
myself.
right. Yeah.
But he's talking about it like everyone knows about his relationship now. He's kept it secret for 2 years, and all of a sudden we're like, oh yeah, I'm
Just
super in a relationship that everybody knows about.
and this every single character, like the mystery, the crime, a little cliche, but not the worst written. Every single character, terribly written.
Hmm. Hmm. It's rough. Um, but yeah, so they're having their little heart to heart. She tells them she doesn't know if she can make it, and they're back to therapy. And she's like, so I see that you've punched someone. And she's like, yeah, and this and that. She's like, here's the thing. On a regular day, you wouldn't have done that. You already had heightened emotions going in, and that's what we need to deal with, that anger. And then Clarice just starts profiling the therapist. Like, that's gonna help.
Like aggressively, rudely profiling. Like,
Yeah. She's like, you didn't grow up in this city. Like, you were, part of like Chinatown. And she's like, but you didn't go back. You came here and all this stuff.
no,
And
basically, she accused her of being a like Asian child adopted by white rich parents
Hmm.
and having no desire to help her own community and go back
Yep.
to it because she's still looking for the love that she didn't get from her rich white parents, and she like racially profiles her fucking
Yeah.
therapist in
Because she tells her, she's like, you grew
which
up in a house
again
speaking English.
goes back into a whole other social justice issue of transracial adoptions
Hmm.
that wasn't a conversation in the 1990s.
Yup. Yup.
Not that it like,
Um,
and I think I struggle with that conversation because I think that if you're going to adopt a kid and take care of them and raise them and like care for them, it doesn't matter what color you are or they are, like that's not the issue. I have a lot
mhm.
of like I have very close friends. Well, and my ex, they are all adopted from Central America by white people, and they're perfectly healthy and thriving. Like, and their parents are
Yeah.
very open to like speaking Spanish with them and like being a part, like having both cultures matter. Like it that is
Right.
so like I feel some type of way about that. But even if you do fall on the side of you should only adopt within your own race, nobody said that in 1993.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
1993, people were still encouraging you to adopt from China to save Chinese babies from the one child policy. Like it was very much a pro adopting Chinese babies in the 90s.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
like I don't know what is happening in this
She's just
show.
being mean. That's all.
She's being mean and the writers are once again giving me a political opinion that doesn't exist in the show.
Right. Correct. Correct. Again, always. So we also learned she's covered in bird marks and scars, which that is an interesting fact that I would like to know more about.
Yes, I'm very curious in
But
because yes, some people who were rich and white and adopted Asian children were great parents, and some of them were terrible. And so that's a great conversation to have. However,
mm,
that's not the conversation we're supposed to be having right now.
no, 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 that's not. And also we have one episode left. We don't care about the therapist. Like,
I don't care about any character. To be
yeah,
fair,
I care about Clark and I really like him find his sister.
yes, yes.
That's it though.
That there, yeah, that's.
Yeah. Mhm. Um,
I mean, and I do hope Niels gets arrested. Like that,
well, sure, yeah, but that's not like a character thing.
yeah.
That's like a plot point. Like I'd like that to be resolved. Um, but she asks her, she says, why are you trying to sabotage your chances of going back to work today? And she says, here's the thing. It's not about you attacking. That happens all the time. I was like, that probably does. That sucks. She's
Right.
like, that happens all the time. She's like, I
I
do
mean,
not care about that.
because she's also a therapist that specifically works with federal agents and
Yeah.
people who are skilled in profiling. So she probably does get like back talked to and
Yeah.
profiled the same way she profiles them all the time. And what a shitty
Yeah.
position to be in.
Yeah. I thought it was rough. Like, Rachel works with a lot of kids and she gets like yelled at in tantrums all the time, but that's probably better than these
That's
FBI
probably better
agents.
than somebody being like, hey, by the way, you have no right to be my therapist. You're also autistic. What?
Right. Hmm.
Like,
Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. For sure. Um, so she's like telling her about this, and she's like, you have to deal with these issues. You have to accept that this is happening. And she says, everything is not built on Buffalo Bill. She's like, you keep making the same argument day after day that this is like, this is somehow forming you. She's like, you have to let that go. And she wants her to find the memory. She's like, you have to find this memory and you have to stop working right now, or you have to like stop working through it in the way you are because you need to stop traumatizing yourself. She's like, if you just deal with the facts of what it is, we can work
well,
through
and
it.
she also says, and you need to remember it yourself because I'm not gonna if we go through this and I talk you through the memory, then you blame me for
Right.
whatever you saw, and I'm not taking responsibility for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So she didn't give her the signature, and she goes and tells Paul that. And he's like, I'm gonna call her. I don't know what's going on, but I that's not what we talked about. I was like, Paul, I understand that you want this to happen, but you're sounding a lot like Jack right now. A lot like trying to get Will in there when he's not ready either. Um, and then Clarice stops him and says, like, she's like, I think that I agree with her. I think I agree with her, and she agrees with the FBI that I'm not ready.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. And she tells him, she's like, I can't be a proper agent because I'm seeing red. He's like, we all like see red. Like, I'm not letting you quit right now. And she says, if I stay, it'll kill me. So maybe she dies next episode. Who's to say? Um, so she goes outside, and Rebecca, our journalist, is back.
Yeah.
The one who almost died and then escaped, and then really here she is. Um, she said she knew she had to step up after seeing Nils arrested.
Yeah.
And Clarice is like, no, 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 I'm not handling this. Like, go inside, talk to literally anyone. First of all, no, don't talk to literally anyone. There's so many people that are like rats. Like, that's not it. But she's like, literally talk to anyone and get it taken care of. Like, it's not on me. And Rebecca gives her a card and she's like, it basically, I said, basically tells her to man up. She's like, you're the one who's working on this. Like,
Hmm.
I'm talking to you or not at all, like this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Clarice, I understand you just quit your job, but you've done so many things that didn't make sense. It would make sense to like do something here. At least take a statement and send it back. Like,
Yeah.
at minimum. Um, and then we go back to Matt and she comes to Vicap to talk to everyone and notices that Clarice is gone. One, sometimes Clarice goes places. Why is that so strange that she's just not there all of a sudden? But she's like, where's Clarice? Like it's the most dramatic thing she's ever seen. Um, and so we go back to Clarice, who is now going for a run, and we start seeing flashbacks back and forth of the therapist Lee and her dad. And we see she sees like a gun cop and then falls over. And then we see the moms on the street lamp.
Yeah.
And now we're in the flashback. And we see the scene again with her dad. He's giving her the money. She takes it to this man. And then he pulls a gun on Clarice and says he should just put her out of her misery, basically, for having to grow up with a dad like him. And then we're back in reality and she vomits and goes back to Matt's house.
Yeah.
And she just throws the bead necklace at the wall. And
Which, to be fair, I understand that reaction.
right. No, no, that's fine. That's fine. I'm fine with that. It is all everything's just very dramatic this episode.
Yeah.
So we go to Matt, and this is where we get the sample, and we learned that it was from fetal tissue from 5 different fetuses from 5 different moms, but all from Nils. So there's the rest of your chrono story. Um, and so we also know that Carolina's baby would have been part of this as well. And Paul says, like, this is the dumbest thing he's ever asked. He's like, even when you have a lot of money, how does someone not know that you like have had 5 miscarriages with 5 different women? Bro, I understand you're in 2021 and we're in 2025, but you don't know what year you're in anyways. Like, have you seen Diddy? Like, do you do you see what rich people do and get away with? Like, bro, that's the dumbest thing you could have said as an FBI agent. You know there are rich people getting
And
away with stuff every
also,
day.
2021 was was after Epstein Island, right?
Was it or was that
Was it?
Epstein?
No, I thought Epstein was caught earlier than that. When did
I thought
Epstein?
Epstein was after Kate Spade died. And Kate Spade was late 2020, I think.
No, Epstein was hung in 20, or he died in 2019.
Oh
So
my
twenty
gosh,
twenty
the world
20.
makes no sense.
Yeah, because Kate Spade died pretty soon at the end of 2018 because I was in Thailand when
So
she.
it's 18? Oh my gosh, I've lost all of my years. At least I had
Yeah.
the order right. I got
Yeah,
my years wrong,
no.
but I'm right.
Because Epstein was already in prison in summer of 2019. So 2021, post Epstein Island. You really gonna tell me you don't think rich people can get away with things?
Right? I mean, it's 93. So even if you're like not in 2021, it's 93. OJ
I'm
got
sorry,
away with
it's
killing his
93.
wife.
OJ, Bill Clinton, are we dumb?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, bro. So I was like, that's the dumbest thing that you've put in this whole show.
Why did
Uh,
mom tell? Hold on, when?
What are you?
I googled the phrase. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Oh, that was 90. That might have
It
been
was no, it
93.
was 98. It was 98 actually. So
Oh,
it's
what?
later. Right. Doesn't it
But
feel like
OJ
that
was
doesn't make
92, right?
Yes, OJ was 92. But
Okay.
apparently the Lewinsky scandal was later. But I guess that makes sense because Clinton was president from 92 to 2000.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. I don't know. I was a child.
Right, right, right. Um, so then we learn through this grand scheme of deducing things that what is happening is Tyson is actually trafficking all of the women for his dad. All of the women are getting a one-way ticket here to deal with Nils, and all of the men that he's bringing in are getting round trip tickets back and forth home.
Which I'm gonna be honest, the way that they got here and the thoughts that they had and the line that they followed was perfectly logical
Right.
and reasonable, and
Absolutely.
I was with them. My
Mhm.
only concern is that if they already had GHH's records, why
Mhm.
did it not strike anyone as odd prior to this that the women's plane tickets were all one way? Like
Yeah.
that would have
I
been a
mean,
very large red flag
I
immediately.
will say that Tyson made it sound like the men were going back for war and that he was saving the women to then bring their husbands later. So he
That's
did
fair. That's
make
fair.
that like an
He did.
asylum thing. And it makes sense to, in this grand scheme of things, it makes sense to like protect the women and then bring them in later when you can because the men are going to be shuffled back and forth anyways. Um, so I was not as bothered by that part of
That's
it.
okay. That's a fair point because I forgot that they did have the conversations about the men, like the husbands and everything, and like that had already been
Mhm.
discussed.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and so we go back to Map's house, and lo and behold, we've learned Tyson's trafficking everyone, and then he shows up. He just shows up,
Right.
and he's sounding pitiful and desperate. And he says, "I need you. I need to help you." And Clarice is gonna let him in because she's stupid. Um,
Oh, oh, stupid.
and that's the end of the episode.
I've never hated someone so much.
Hmm.
And by that I mean just like everyone involved with this show.
Mhm. Mhm.
It is
Oh yeah,
so infuriating.
it's so infuriating. It's
Well,
so crazy to me.
and here's the thing. There's now only one episode left. So they've
Mhm.
already put all the pieces together. However, that means that either they're going to then wrap everything up with the case in the next episode, and it's probably going to be done in a very rushed and unsatisfying way, or
Mhm.
they're going to leave us on a cliffhanger, and then I'm never going to get an answer. And the case is the only interesting part of the entire
Mhm.
show. If they spend even a fucking minute in the season finale dealing with Clarice's anger about her dad instead of this case, which of course they will,
Right.
but
I
like
do want to know. I want to know the story of her dad. They've just done it in such a terrible way. Like it didn't need to be
so
the way they've done
badly.
it.
Everything they did was like a good theoretical storyline that they then
Hmm.
destroyed,
Butchered. Hmm.
butchered.
Absolutely.
They
Yep.
introduced every single character, had a tragic backstory that was then played off for like 20 minutes of screen time, which will never be explained. Um, and 0% chance will the season finale be satisfying because there are so many balls in the air that they physically cannot answer all of them in 40 minutes. And if they do, it will be worse than if they don't.
Yeah, I went to look at the deleted scenes to see what they said about Paul or Aldelia and the Black Coalition, and there weren't
There
any.
were
I
no
was like,
deleted scenes this
oh, okay, we
time.
just no. I was like, we just gave up.
We just
That's what
gave
happened. That's
up.
fine. It's
No.
like that's fine. Okay. Um, yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't really think there's much more to be said about it. Like it just we've been saying it
Well,
since the
and then what
beginning.
happened to Julia? Where was Julia? Where was Julia and her information from her grandma?
Mhm. She's safe now because it all fell on Joe. That's what happened. So maybe that's their plan. Maybe they're going to be like, we didn't have anything because they framed Joe, but we're gonna get the information from Julia. But that's probably the information they used to frame Joe. So it's like all you're doing is solidifying the story that they've built.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a dumb story and a dumb show, and I wish I had better things to say about it, but I don't. So who do you want to punish?
Clarice.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's that's the one.
Stupid.
Um,
Not an intelligent decision to be seen.
not a one, not a one. Um, because you punched Clarice, I'm gonna punch Tyson just because I feel like he hasn't gotten his fair share yet.
Valid.
Like, it's time. So who's your MVP?
Jesus Christ. Is there one?
No.
No, Calpen.
Always,
Always.
always. Me. Because you picked him. I'm gonna pick Murray and his love of his solving raids and Shetland ponies. So that's my golden star for the episode. Um yeah, so next week we have the finale. We'll see what happens. Um Sunday we have episode 2 of Rising of Stargate Atlantis, which should be fun. Um and in the meantime, if you have thoughts, feelings, etc., we are going to watch this last episode. We're going to do a wrap up. We're going to watch Hannibal the movie, and then we're going to do TNA awards and move on to American Horror Story. I'm sure Hannibal will be better. Um, I do not think it's the top rated movie, but it is obviously not as bad as what was the one we hated, Hannibal Rising.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, because it is still with like a lot of the same people who did Silence of the Lambs, so like
Okay.
it's probably still fine.
Yeah.
It just didn't do as well as Silence of the Lambs. So let's hang in there for one more episode of Clarice. We'll do a wrap up. We'll vent. We'll figure out a little more about the background of the production and what's going on with all these people who are doing really great shows and that made this show.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so in the meantime, if you have anything to say to us, you can email us deathandaliens@gmail.com. You can find us on all of the social media at Death and Aliens. You can find me at CECloud13.
And you can follow me everywhere at EMKAY_superstar.
And we will see you on Sci-Fi Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.